Hi, it's Jane with Scraptasticyarns, and earlier I had to cool my jets because I was way ahead of everybody on the movies. Now I'm caught up and close behind. The movie I chose for my J movie was Justice. It is found on Netflix. It is a Western. The director is Richard Gabai. Producer is John Lewis, A.J. Perez, and Sean Skelding, and it was released in 2017. Apparently, it only gained $2.2 thousand, and I can tell you why. Basically, this is a movie where a marshal arrives in a really small town in the 1860s to find his brother. Town pastor has been murdered under suspicious circumstances. And basically it has to do with a mayor who has this huge web of corruption. And the very first scene is with the brother, who is a priest, who is writing a letter to his brother, and his brother is a marshal, U.S. Marshal, and does arrive to look into the corruption, only to find that his brother is dead and died in a fire at the church. Now the mayor, who is running this corrupt little thing, and his henchmen, it's just after the Civil War, and all through this you see the after effects of the Civil War. One of the very first scenes where the marshal shows up, there's a young black man that is being strapped into a lashing, the lashing poles, to be whipped. And when the marshal tells him to stop, put it down, what is his crime? He's black. Well, that wasn't the words they used. That's a big enough crime as it is. So the marshal actually handles things in a very Western way by pulling his little gun and taking care of the issues. Stops that. The young man runs home, and then the marshal goes into the bar, wants to know where his brother is, and they inform him his brother died in a fire at the church because he was probably drinking and knocked over a lamp. So what he finds out in the meantime is that's not what happened. The local prostitute basically tells him that's not what happened, and someone else tells him that's not what happened. The young black man's father comes to thank the marshal for saving his son, and of course these henchmen try to do the same thing to him. Now their whole intent, these mayor and this henchman, is they plan on reviving the Civil War, creating a new, not really South because it's Western, a new Western colonies, whatever, to revive the Civil War because they're not happy with the results. And the marshal keeps telling them the war is over, these men are free, blah, blah, blah. It was good, but it was very predictable. You know what's going to happen. Marshal comes in, there's trouble, he gets into trouble, he investigates it. Then, of course, the henchmen take him, do some bodily damage to him. A young woman finds him. She protects him, heals him. There's sort of an underlying love story there, but not really. Because the marshal is a man about town. It's the best way I can describe it. So, anyway, they jailed the marshal. The black man and several other people, the woman gathers them, tells them they're going to kill the marshal. They're going to hang him, kill him. He hasn't done anything wrong. He's not guilty of any crimes. Although the mayor has made up these crimes and had him arrested after deputizing one of his henchmen. So in the very end, the townspeople come together. They break the marshal out of town, out of the jail. There's, this big old gunfight scene. Of course, the young black man's father is killed. And then, of course, here comes the troops, the infantry that comes to save the day. At the very end, the marshal, the deputy is out by the church where this marshal stops to visit his brother's last place of death and then go to his grave. And while he is there, he finds a small cross that is whittled. And he and this deputy have this little gunfight. He wounds the deputy. I'm going to tell you the whole thing so you don't have to watch it. He wounds the deputy. He turns his back. He's looking at the cross. Contemplating life, I suppose. I don't know. And then you see the deputy starting to raise his gun. And you see the fellow. You hear this noise. And then as he turns, you see the cross that is on the steeple that is left of the church falls and impales the deputy, killing him. So there's your God moment. Godly intervention, divine intervention. So then the young man takes the U.S. Marshal takes the young black boy, because he's promised the black man that he would make sure someone looks after his son. Takes him to the woman's home where the other members who fought and saved him are there. They're going to start a new church. And he introduces them to him and asks them to basically watch after this young man and help to raise them, because he has to go back and join his fellow infantrymen, U.S. Marshals. Move on to investigate something else. There's a little scene where they kissy-poo. She realizes he's not coming back. He goes on his merry way. Yeah. I can see why it only made $2.2 thousand. Or, 100,000. Yeah, it was okay. Part of me says I should have gone with my first thought, which was Joyful Noise, because I love Queen Latifah and Dolly Parton, but no. Thought I'd do something different. I don't know what my K movie is going to be, only because we watched the full 3 hours of Kung Fu Panda about 2 weeks ago, so I don't think I want to watch that again. So I'll be looking for a K movie. Who knows? I might find something interesting. But that's it. Now, what did I work on while I was doing that? I made more than 3. I made 4 washcloths while I was watching that. These are using up scraps that I had. This one as well. It was mostly purples, and then at the very end there was the blue, so just using up scraps to get those done. That's it. That's the movie in a nutshell. I'll see you again for the next Movie and Stitch. Everybody have a great week. Bye.